Hello, Paul's here again, beginning another project. Seems like before I had one project I was working on at one time. Right now I have 4 or 5. So anyway, I guess that's what a homeowner's like. But anyway, what we decided to do, we actually just looked one day, and last year, actually in September, because the videos are coming, the pictures are actually coming up on some of the social sites. Around this time last year, I built this deck. It's a very solid deck. Anyway, I have support posts here and here and here. Another support post here, mainly to stop the railing, but it also supports the deck. I have a support post here and a beam that runs down here with a support here and here. Another support here. And then what I did at the corners, I actually basically bought as long of a piece of 4x4 as I could, and I'm creating this little area to tie off sunsails to, or sunshades. And it's worked out pretty good so far. But as you can, and then over here, again, did the same thing over here. I have a railing right here, very sturdy railing. I'm amazed at how strong this deck turned out. I mean, there's really no play in it whatsoever. And then on the edge here, I decided at the last minute to build a little area for flower beds and stuff like that. So I went out and bought some flower bed canisters. Really, they're plastic tub containers. And I have 1, 2, 3. And I literally built this out of old wood from the old deck. And then some little, and then when needed, new pieces. So I have it set up so it can basically, there's holes in the bottom, it can drip down, but it's supported from the top. This has worked out real nice over here. I also built a step right there. My son plays soccer, and so he does a lot of mud intensive play, and so that's there to clean the soccer cleats. But anyway, and then along the side here, you know, I've also built steps over here also. Well, anyway, we've had this out for about a year, and I came out and I just looked at it and I went like, wow, this wood needs to be stained. And we were in the planning process of staining this. What I read online is you want to wait about 90 days to stain. Well, 90 days to stain was right in the middle of the winter. I know Georgia doesn't really have much winters, but still it's probably too cold to stain. So anyway, I called a couple of contractors out, got a quote from one, and they wanted to charge me $980 to stain this deck. And that would include pressure washing and cleaning and everything. And I said, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. After 3 attempts, no replies. I guess they had too much business to take it on or didn't want to take it on. So I decide I'm gonna do it. Well, anyway, so first things first is you have to get everything off the deck. And as you can see, it's just in the yard here, right here, from all the different parties and everything else. So I've got the stuff off the deck, and I went out and bought a pressure washer. Some people use pressure washers, some use chemicals. There's a lot of mildew on this, so I decided to try to use the pressure washer first and kind of get the cleanup. But as you can see here, the mud that's coming in from the house between the dogs and us and, you know, basically my son playing soccer, there's a lot of mud in here. And I thought the pressure washer would get it up a little bit better, but it didn't. So what I did is I bought some wood cleaner. All right, well, to get started, first things first is I'm gonna have to take down everything that I have here on the deck. This right here is just a little mat to wipe your feet with. I'm gonna relocate that. But I also need to take down the garden hose. It's basically a real nice little garden hose holder that's mounted to the side of the deck. I'm going to need to take that down, take down the low voltage wiring and the transformers that are mounted there. Go ahead and take down the lights, the sun sails and connectors, the HF ham antenna, and any of the brackets and mounts or anything that's in here. So all I've got is the actual decking and the wood. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here with the air blower. the leaf blower, blow off all the dirt that we have on here. Do a little bit of sanding in a couple of touch areas, kind of sand it up with a palm sander. And then I'm going to apply water, pressure wash this side here to clean the wood a little bit better, you know, where the mildew is. And then I'm going to apply the stain prep cleaning solution and rub that down. And if it rains today, that's fine, because I'm going to have to wet the porch anyway. And once I'm done wetting the porch and stain cleaning and stuff like that, once I get, you know, 24, 48 hours of dry time of no rain and a couple of good days to dry out the wood and everything else, then I'll apply the stain. The stain I bought, they really recommend 2 days of being dry before you actually apply it. And then once you apply it, it's got to have 4 hours before it rains. And I'm going to apply 2 coats is what they recommend. So let me get started on taking all the stuff off. Well, as you can see, it's a lot of hard work, but it does seem to be making it a difference. We've got, I'd probably say, a good 3/4 of the deck done. And I can say that you can tell where it's actually been. The only corner that hasn't been done is the heaviest used corner right there. So I've got the next 6 boards that I've been soaking for probably about 10 minutes now. I just put a timer for another 15 minutes. So we'll get these right here. And then the final will be the ones right up against the house. And I think that'll be it for tonight. Tomorrow, we're gonna have to come up with a solution. I was gonna fly my drone up straight up, well, actually up in the air, and watch me working from up above. However, the drone, I don't know if I hit the knob or for something happened when it grabbed the GPS, but it decided to fly into the tree. So I got the extension ladder out there and started shaking the tree and stuff like that. While it was still transmitting and on, I could actually see it and the tree limbs moving. My wife thinks that it was kind of upside down, so it was looking at the sky. So anyway, maybe we'll get a strong wind and it'll blow it out, or you know, maybe I can figure out a way to climb the tree tomorrow when I'm not so tired. Good morning. It's an early Saturday morning here. Actually, one of the last Saturdays, actually the last Saturday in September. And anyway, last night, well, as you can see, I've actually cleared off the deck. I've, as you saw in the earlier in the video, I did a little bit of sanding, and then I did some treating of the wood with a with a mildew remover, and it really did a great job, actually. As I was doing it, I was using the effort, and I was sitting there thinking like, oh my goodness, am I wasting a lot of time? You know, I was sitting there thinking like, you know, I put a lot of effort into it, and but it really cleaned up. There was like mud stains here, mud stains there, and everywhere, but it did a real good job. Well, last night I started out with two cans of this Behr Premium Waterproof Stain and Sealer. It's semi-transparent, and I used a spray gun to actually spray the stain on. And I may have gone on a little too thick, but you know, now that I'm looking at it, the sun's coming up, I'm actually kind of happy with the first coat. Now this is just the first coat of two that I'm going to do. But you know, the water is beating up on it, on the stain like it should, as opposed to soaking into the wood. So it is doing its job. So I'm just waiting for the dew to dry off so that I can get started on the other half of the deck. This is a 16 by 16 deck. It's got a little bit of a 1 foot notch out to make room for the water spigot and give extra room for the air conditioner and stuff like that. So while the air is airing out, while it's drying off, I'm going to go ahead and put the plastic against the house. Put the plastic along the ground here. All right, well, as you can see, I'm getting things prepped and ready to go to start spraying the area out. I need to cover up the nozzle a little bit and do that. I've got cardboard down to cover the area of the deck as I'm spraying the ballast. I've got a roller that I'm going to use to roll over as I spray. I don't know how in the heck you can actually do this without being in the sun, because it is too wet to do it earlier before the sun comes out, and if you do it the night before, it doesn't dry. So we're going to see what happens when you stain it in the sunshine. Okay, so what I have for today's project is I have a Wagner paint sprayer, and the part number is 05207555. At the home center, it wasn't quite the cheapest, but it was by far nowhere near the most expensive one. I've got a paint pan. This is what we're going to put the paint into, and this is the nozzle sprayer. I got one of these buckets. This thing sells for like $10 at Home Depot. You can buy these removable plastic sheets so you don't have to clean it up, and it's got a magnet that holds your brush right there. And then I've got a high density foam roller. Well, after I paint it, I'm going to roll it. So let me first basically put I have this box here to hold the paint can, so when it dribbles that it'll go. I'm going to pour some paint inside this bucket here, and then we're going to go from there.
do it again. Here's Andrew. Are you having fun? We are having fun.
The hard part was the railing. Y'all wouldn't have helped with that. That would never have. Hello everyone, it's Paul here again. And last weekend, the first weekend, I first pressure washed the deck, and then I used a chemical, kind of like a bleach, to remove all the mold and everything off of there. Did that. We had about a week of, off and on, fairly continuous rain. Let it dry for a couple of days, and then last weekend, on Friday night, I started applying the paint to the railings, and decided to do the railings first. I started with the brush, and in about an hour I made it to about here. And then I thought, man, it's gonna get dark soon. I want to get something done, stuff like that. So I brought out a paint sprayer, never used one, learned how to do it. But anyway, I sprayed the inside first, and then I went outside and sprayed the outside first to each section. But anyway, as you can see, the paint spraying worked. So on Friday night, I did this section here, and then on the first coat of this section on Saturday, I did this section here, inside and out. And my wife and my son, basically, we really did a boot camp, and we did 2 coats of the railing on Saturday. So we did 2 coats and everything was fine. And then Saturday evening, late in the day, we went back and I did the first coat of the flooring. And anyway, the first coat of the flooring. And then I went back on, and then on Sunday afternoon, went and bought another pad, and I applied the final coat. I used Behr Premium waterproof stain and sealer. They say 6 years on deck, 8 years on fences and siding. I'll be happy with the 8 years, because basically painting these spindles was a real pain in the butt. But anyway, we got it dried. It's a little sticky. You can hear it kind of sticking to the feet. I guess that goes away after a time, but it's been more than 72 hours since the curing has taken place. Today actually is the first day that it's actually semi-cloudy. It's been clear and dry all week, no rain and everything, so we had plenty of time to cure. I went ahead and started mounting some of the birds here. We're looking for their food. The hummingbirds especially, they were just flying around and going like, hey, where's our food? Moved the wind chime and stuff. But anyway, this morning we're gonna wipe off all the feet of everything, and we're gonna move the table, the grill, and all the stuff back on the deck, and return the deck to its normal operating procedures. Well, here we are. It's done. 2 weeks ago, we removed all the chairs, the equipment, and plants off the deck. And then we started the process with pressure washing the deck, and then we applied a chemical that kind of bleaches and prepares the deck for paint or stain. And then during that process, we scrubbed the deck, scrubbed it down. It's amazing how much stuff that actually removed. It got a lot of the mud and the stain and stuff like that, mold off the deck. And then last weekend, we had a real good week of dry spell, and we spent the period of that dry spell painting the deck. We spent the first Friday night of last week, I painted this part of the deck here, or actually stained it. We used a stain. We stained this part of the deck, and then by that time it was dark. And then Saturday morning, we stained those railings over there. We came back and restained, provided the second coat over here, provided the second coat over there, and as you can tell, it started raining again. And then Saturday afternoon of last week, we provided the first layer of stain down on the deck boards. And then we came back and on Sunday bought more paint and provided the final stain of the deck. It was luckily last week was the first dry week we've had in weeks, so we gave it plenty of time to cure, to dry off and everything else. And here we are Sunday. Yesterday we built the deck back up. We put all the furniture on here. We put the sun sails on here, which is great because right now it's raining and it's protecting me from some of the rain right here. But we got this done just in time before the weather came back, and it's gonna rain all week. But we've got the deck ready for Halloween. We've got the deck ready for an upcoming birthday party, and we are set and ready to go. So hope you enjoyed this process and hope you enjoyed this project and this video. And if you liked the video, be sure to click like. And if you'd like to see more videos about home improvement, gardening, ham radio, and just different parts that I acquire and play with, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and hope you have a great week.